Hey, and thank you for clicking play. Voice is croaky. That can only mean one of two things. No, it's not a virus, so it must be that I was at the Perth Amiga Users Group last night at time of recording. Had great fun. So what I'll do is I'll basically voice over the footage. I just did some, quick footage walking around because I didn't want to be sort of obsessed with filming. I just wanted to be there and have a good time and actually enjoy the event for the event, not for a video somewhere in the back of my head. So let's have a quick look. But before we do that, I'll let you know that I did pick a couple of things up. I did bid on the A1200 that you'll see in the footage. Did I win it? Let's have a look at the footage and then we'll see what I picked up at the end.
So we have Shane's table with his A1200 running demos, and also this Vectrex running demos at this point in the evening. And here's my A1200 and Battle Station 2 playing the game that I made for Rich for last year's Christmas competition, and letting other people have a play. Here's the raffle table, Atari 7800 up for grabs, C64 Maxi, a PC Engine, and a C64 in a brand new case. Great prizes. And the buy-sell table, and the thing that was most tempting for me was this Atari 2600 Junior in box. And a few items. There's always items that aren't Amiga related, and there was this, which looks amazing, and I have no idea to this day what it actually was, but it looks stunning. I assume it's some FPGA-based system. I don't think that's an actual Sega. I think it was a clone. I could be wrong. And the PAUG graphic running on a C64. Fantastic. And then we've got Dave from Retro Kit. Fantastic source right here in Perth for everything Amiga and other stuff as well. And around the corner we've also got some machines reconditioned by Ian. Great work. More stuff on the other buy-sell table, including these unloved Macs sitting there. Bless them. Sorry? And this big box Amiga, which got some really good use later on. We'll come back to that. And there were some people playing this Pong clone with the slider controls, not the packet of chips. And this looks very interesting. I didn't get a go, but yeah, I'm all for a Pong clone. That looks cool. And Graham from the Commodore Cave was proudly showing off his Mega 65, which I have seen in the flesh before. A stunning piece of kit, I must say. A couple of other machines over here, including yet another C64. I'm sure it's not the Perth C64 Users Club. What we also had here was an Atom, which I'd never seen one in the flash, not knowingly. So ColecoVision Atom with, and it's playing Dragon's Lair. So I certainly didn't know that was a thing. So there you go. Dragon's Lair.
I just spotted something. That's a Cobra Mark III, isn't it? Or a Cobra of some kind.
Yep, a 3D printed Cobra from Elite.
That's when I got my colleague. I was looking at watching a few videos.
It's a Cobra from Elite.
Which does what?
It's just a 3D printed, so it would have been a spaceship in Elite.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a 3D printed version of one of them.
Okay, yep.
Yeah. That's cool, though. To have a model of a Cobra. But I want a Panther Clipper, so a Panther Clipper would probably be about the size of this table.
Speaking of demos, lots of demos running on the projector at the front from a laptop. Amiga demos via YouTube. This table kept changing. Commodore Business Machine sitting there looking very business-like, and a couple of things being played on this table, including a SNES Mini and a C64. Posters put up by Al to advertise modern games for old systems. And here is, again, the Mega 65, finally unboxed by Graham. And he did set up for people to see it running later on in the evening. Fantastic piece of kit. You have to touch one.
So what's the spec of this?
And here is the, I think it's the Area 1541 demo, is that right? Running on actual original kit rather than emulation. So impressive to see this running on the metal. It really is an insane demo. Keeping in mind, I only ever really saw demos running on the Amiga scene, completely missed the PC demo scene back in the day, and this just smacks me of an Amiga demo. It really does. Slightly more beepy farty sounds, but saying that, it actually looks and sounds very impressive for the kit that it's running on. Yeah, absolutely stunning.
I've seen it in like an emulator, like on YouTube, I don't actually
Is it a pet?
I think it's a pet, showing its guts.
That's when they did actually look like business machines rather than games consoles with a keyboard.
And I do mean that. That is the most business-looking machine from Commodore that I've seen in a long time. Maybe aside from the big box Amigas, of course. And now this is this young lady, I assume she was high school age, just doing art in deluxe paint on this big box Amiga most of the evening, which is fantastic to see.
Seeing other active Amiga communities around the world. For those that don't know me, I mean, I'm just an Amiga fan, and computers in general, really. I started a YouTube channel back in 2008, I think it was, so it's quite early doing Amiga and retro.
Yes, we had Dan Wood as the guest speaker, which was amazing. Great bloke. Fantastic. Here's an update of this piece of artwork being worked on. And now this was really special. Thanks to Shane, I got to play the very games that I remember playing on a Vectrex. Now, I would have been about 6. So we're starting here with Spike. And this is reliving my first memory of the first computer game or console game, whatever you want to call it, that I ever played. I mean, it was amazing to be able to relive that memory. Now, I was rubbish at the games. You'll hear in a minute Shane telling me exactly what to do. Just keep in mind, I was 6. And the neighbour whose house it was, I think they were just borrowing it because it wasn't there all the time. He was a year younger than me, so he didn't. He just kept changing the overlays on the screen. He had no clue what to do.
It opens up the door to the end of the level, basically.
Oh, where is it? At the top?
Yeah, it's just another ladder, basically. Just, yeah. So now change the ladder again, and once you get up, there you go, jump, you got to jump, just press the jump button, that's it, you're in.
Nice.
And from Spike we go into, I think it's Mindstorm, the Asteroids clone that is built into the Vectrex, and that's the only other game I have any memory of playing.
That's it.
That's so cool.
It is. It's the longest I've ever had the Vectrex playing. So you can, yeah, you can go along and you can teleport as well to get out of trouble.
Yeah. So when you walk around,
well, I do have a spare.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it does. I just don't have a controller for it. They're both mint, like they both play spot on. Yeah.
And a final look at this piece of artwork in deluxe paint. So much better than anything I ever churned out back in the day. Really, really cool to see. And then finally, a reconditioned, recapped A1200 up for auction. Did I win it? I certainly bid on it, but did I win this amazing machine?
So there we go. We had a really good time, and it was great to have Dan Wood there as the guest speaker, as you saw. And also that young girl that just spent all the evening just drawing in D-Paint on an Amiga. That was just fantastic to see that next generation of person appreciating the Amiga. And I did actually say to her afterwards, I said, look, go on YouTube, look up 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, look out for their art competition because you should definitely enter. She's got some serious skills, much better than I've ever done in D-Paint. So that's just fantastic to see. Right. What did I pick up? Good question. Not much. First of all, thanks to Nick. Really do appreciate it. A gift. So Outrun for the Amiga. Great game. Terrible port. Just had to have it because I had it back in the day. And so he bought it for me to and I had the jewel case growing up, but actually when he said, actually I've got the box version, are you still interested in that? I said, absolutely, because actually artwork wise, this is so much nicer a shelf piece than the jewel case version. And not just that, but let's face it, the game is somewhat lacking. So actually at this stage of collecting, you really are collecting it for the shelf piece rather than the game itself. The Amiga port, somebody has to interview whoever it was that was responsible and just get some answers. I mean, seriously, we need answers. Right, I bid on the A1200. Did I win it? No, I didn't. So that actually went up. I sat on my hands once it went over $400. And so $400 Australian, about £200. So it was a recapped Amiga with a GoTech in it, with a power supply and mouse. Nothing else, just that. And it actually went for $800 at the end of the night, which is a fantastic price, I think. There was also the raffles. So let's have a look at what I won in this year's raffle. Yeah, no, nothing. So the thing that I was really interested in the raffle was the Atari 7800. But as you would have seen on the buy-sell table, there was an Atari 2600 Junior, I think it was. So what I told myself as the night went on was, okay, I'm going to leave the 2600 Junior on the table. The guy wanted $100 for that box. And I said to myself, right, if I win the 7800, then great, because I wouldn't need the 2600 Junior. If I don't, and after the raffle, if the 2600 Junior is still on the buy-sell table, then I'll have that. I'll buy it off the guy. If it's still there, if nobody else has picked it up. And several other people were talking about getting it, and I said to them, look, if you want it, take it, because it really isn't a problem for me. So the night went on. I didn't win anything in the raffle. And I happened to be sitting right next to the guy that was selling it. So as soon as the raffle was finished, I leant in and said, I'll have it. So there you go. I got the Atari 2600 Junior. So growing up, you know, you didn't ask for a console, you asked for an Atari. We ended up with a Philips G7000, which I have a lot of love and nostalgia for. But I never had my own Atari. No, it's not a Woody. No, it's not a Vader. But I now have an actual, real hardware Atari 2600 in the box right now. It's just the manuals that it came with. The box is rather munted. Not sure if we can even restore it. So I kind of paid for a bit of cardboard that I should have looked more closely at, to be honest. But anyway, it's fine. I'm sure I can iron it flat and at least make it a decent piece on the shelf. But the Atari 2600 itself is really what I was after, and that's what I got. So that's great. And we'll have a look at that in a moment, because it's actually right behind you guys, plugged into my CRT TV over there. So really pleased to have that. The other thing on the night was the quiz. We always have a quiz. I think I scored about 16 out of 24. Wasn't enough to win a prize. I've never won a prize on the quiz. But that's all well and good. Right, we're going to have a quick look at the Atari 2600 Junior, which is sitting over there. But before I do you like my t-shirt? Don't know if you can see that there. So, in next week's video, I'll let you know how you can win one of these yourself, because that's this year's Christmas giveaway. Yep, we've had the mouse mat, we've had the game. This year, it's the t-shirt. Okay, so there it is. Just have a quick look at the machine itself there. The Atari 2600 Junior, and it came with the pinball game, Midnight Magic, and the 32-in-1 game cartridge. Yep, and the camera's hunting, so I'm just going to put you back down there and we'll have a quick play. Now, it has been, I've left it on, just giving it a stress test for a good couple of hours. It's been fine until I started to come over here to do some filming, and I moved it up there and it's upset something. Oh, excuse the reading glasses. So we'll see if we can actually get a quick game without making it angry. So let's press. There we go. I'll do a separate video on this, obviously, but yeah, I mean, first impressions, it's I paid $100 Australian for it, so £50 for a boxed, complete in inverted commas Atari 2600 Junior. It's not quite complete because it doesn't have the joystick for the pad, and the box really. I should have taken the box out of the equation in my head because that's in terrible condition. But other than that, look, I've got the 2 games, including the 32-in-1. Let's face it, that number is an exaggeration because it's just game modes on some of the games. But still, both cartridges do take a bit of persuasion, let's put it that way. So I will need to clean, I think, both the cartridges and the cartridge connector in the unit itself. But other than that, I'm quite pleased to have this because now I finally, after all these years, have an Atari 2600. It works, just takes a bit of persuasion, and same with the controller. When I first started playing it, right wasn't working, and it's come good just from a bit of use. And I don't really have to force it, it's fine, it's absolutely fine. So yeah, very happy. Not a bad meet at all. Thanks for watching. There you go.